What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons that insurance companies deny water damage claims. In case you haven't noticed, insurance companies don't like to pay claims. If they can weasel out of it, they will. And they've got a 68-page document with all kinds of loopholes on how to get out. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 things that they use to get out of the claims, and I'll even show you what we used to do to get around their objections. Basically, if you own a restoration company, you do not want to miss this video. Let's go. Alright guys, so as we get started, go ahead and do me a favor, hit the like and the subscribe button and drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching the video from, okay? So let's go ahead and start right at the top. The easy one, the low-hanging fruit here is leak over time. So what is a leak over time? Well, most policies will define a leak over time as this: any type of leak that has been going on for over a week or 2. Different policies will state it differently, but either way, here's what they try to say. We pay for sudden and accidental water losses. That's what they say. And if it's not sudden or not accidental and it's been going on for a while, like that's really the only 2, sudden or accidental or a leak over time. Here's the point. It's a vague term and I don't like the whole notion of a leak over time, but this is what most people get their claim denied for, okay? An example of a leak over time might be something like a shower pan. If the shower pan's been leaking for a while, the wood turns black, they can deny that, saying that it's a leak over time. Another example might be maybe you've got like a roof leak or something like that, and if it's leaked before or multiple times and it causes some rot, they could call that a leak over time. Another one might be you might have a water leak inside of a wall or an intermittent leak and it starts to cause a bunch of mold. That again could be called a leak over time. Anything over a week or over 2 weeks, then they can call it a leak over time. Here's the point, guys. Insurance companies don't know when those leaks started, and here's how they get out of this more often than any other time. They'll ask the homeowner, how long has this been going on? They'll ask them that and they're like, did this just start or has it been going on for a while? And the customer, the insured, they're trying to do the right thing. They're like,
oh, I don't know, I'm sure it's been going on for a while.
When in fact, they don't really know how long it's been going on. It may not started yesterday, but they don't know when. And if you don't know when, then don't state that's been going on for a long time. And here's what I'm telling you guys, as a restoration contractor, you need to keep your client from getting their claim denied and make them quit putting their foot in their mouth, okay? If they don't know when it started leaking, I don't know is the best answer. If they don't know exactly when it started leaking, I don't know is the best answer, okay? But leak over time is probably the biggest one that I see where they deny claims in that name. There's other stipulations that I've seen in clauses and in policies where they will state like, okay, what if you didn't know it was leaking? What if the leak was inside of a wall or something like that? And in those cases, some policies will allow for this or that. Here's what I'm telling you, dude. I've been doing this for so long. Okay, I've done over 1,000 claims as an owner, and I've seen them pay for things they should deny, and I've seen them deny things they should pay, okay? It is a completely ludicrous process. Like there's no rhyme or reason what they're supposed to be doing. It's like, it's very volatile. You as a contractor, you need to learn what you're doing, learn how to take control of the claim and guide your client through the process. That's what you need to do. In the early days, we didn't know what we were doing and we'd hit some claims that got denied. I can tell you this, after we learned that, we maybe get a denied claim every 4 years. I mean, it wasn't very often because we controlled the conversation, control the narrative. You need to control the narrative. If you don't, the carrier is going to control it. It's going to get your client stuck in a mess, okay? So a leak over time is going to be something where it's just old black wood, etc. This brings me to number 2. The second big one is wear and tear. So what are examples of wear and tear? Like a silicone joint, maybe that would be wear and tear. They might also say that's maintenance too. That's another on the list. But like a lot of these are relatively similar in nature, right? Like wear and tear will typically cause a leak over time, or a failure to maintain could be called wear and tear and cause a leak over time. Here's all I'm trying to say is they will have specific wordings because there are certain situations that allow them to get out. Another example of wear and tear might have something to do with like a nozzle or a handle, right? Like if it has movement and over time that movement breaks a bearing or breaks a seal and causes it to fall off, even though it's a sudden and accidental break, that gives them the ability to say, well, it broke because it was wear and tear. Like it's honestly garbage in my view. It really, really is. But this is where you need to learn how to represent your client. You need to understand how they play these things, and then you guide them accordingly. Guys, if you don't know, go to workwithshane.com, okay, and we can talk about it. I'm having a 2-day event in Nashville. It's our water damage boot camp. We cover this stuff exactly, okay? But whenever you come, you will have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and you can't be an adjuster. But if you want to learn this stuff, come to Nashville for 2 days, go to waterdamagebootcamp.com. We talk about this stuff specifically, okay? Nobody represents your client. Okay, that's what we should be doing. But the insurance company is not on their side. I can promise you that, okay? They're not on their side. As a matter of fact, the insurance company has a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to pay as little as possible. They have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders not to overpay for the claim. And not overpaying means paying as little as possible, okay? So that's not on the side of the insured, okay? Another example of wear and tear might be a shower pan. It failed because it was old, and that's wear and tear, okay? And I can tell you this, we got shower pans covered on the regular all the time, but you gotta know how to do it, and you gotta know what you're doing. And I can't tell you that on a YouTube video, because I got adjusters that watch my stuff. You gotta come in Nashville and we'll talk about that, okay? But wear and tear is a big one. So the biggest one, leak over time. Second one, wear and tear. And this brings me to the third one, poor craftsmanship or faulty installation, okay? And here's another couple examples of this. It could be a window was not installed properly. It could be that the dishwasher wasn't hooked up properly. It could be that the refrigerator wasn't screwed on properly. Any one of those things. Here's what I'll tell you. Again, if you go back to like when I'm reporting one of these claims and they just had the window installed, there's no need to bring up that the window just got installed. There's a leak. There was a storm. The sudden and accidental event was a big storm came in and now my wall's wet. Like telling them when the window was installed is irrelevant, because all you're going to do is muddy up the idea and the narrative that, well, what if it wasn't installed properly? We're denying that thing. Like that's what they'll do. Do you understand? That is what they'll do. So you just don't need to mention that kind of stuff, okay? So hate me, but like I'm telling you, I'm representing my client, and if you don't know, don't speculate on behalf of the insurance company, okay? Here's another example. If there's a dishwasher that leaked and it just got installed, the insurance company, State Farm or Allstate, they're gonna say, we're not doing it. That's poor installation. Whoever installed it needs to cover that. And that's not true. It's not true. You need to file the claim. And once you file the claim on the property, right, you own your property, then Allstate or State Farm, they can subrogate back to whoever did it later, okay? But get it done first. And if you try and tell them too much information, you know what they're gonna say? Nope, we ain't paying for that. You let them do it. You know what you're gonna have? Nobody's gonna be paying for your claim. Less information is better. Too much, the devil is always in the details. So just to be clear about this, if Best Buy or someone or Home Depot installs a washing machine or dishwasher and we were called out to do a water damage claim and they said, well, Home Depot installed it, they said they're paying for it, I'd be like, nope, we ain't doing that. And I would never. Homeowner files the claim, guys. Homeowner files the claim. Multiple reasons. Number one, a commercial contractor's policy is not going to be the same as a homeowner's policy, okay? It may not pay for replacement cash value, or it may just have actual cash value. Like, there's different things. And number two, they may slow walk the claim, which they probably will. They may not have adequate coverage, which they may not. And they will certainly slow walk it, and there's a good chance that they have let their coverage lapse. Any one of those situations is a good enough reason to let Jake from State Farm come pay for this baby, okay? If somebody else did an install, you need to have the client, whoever owns the property, who you gonna sue? The homeowner who needs to sign your work authorization, you need to file a claim based on that. And then at the end, they can subrogate. Do it the other way around, guys, and you're going to get burned. All right, so this brings me to the next one. Failure to maintain. Again, it's relatively similar to like the wear and tear, because you can say like the caulk line broke. That could be considered wear and tear, but they may say that's also maintenance. Another one might be getting the leaves cleaned out of your gutters, okay? If you don't clean the leaves out of your gutters and it backs up, then the water could back up on the pine straw or on the needles, and then the water gets up behind the shingles. And I'm just telling you, the adjuster can get out there and they're like, nope, you didn't take care of this. Then your soffit started, like, and that's another one. If your soffit gets rotten, things of that nature, the adjuster can get out there and be like,
oh, well, the water came in right here. Well, look at all that crap that's up there. You guys haven't been taking care of this. We're not paying for that. No thanks. No, sir.
And so what would you do in that situation? Well, if the problem did come from the gutters, you probably need to get the crap off the gutters, okay? Because you need to make sure it's not going to leak again anyway. I'm not for defrauding insurance companies by any stretch of the imagination, but I am telling you that you need to help that client make sure that they don't get their claim denied because they don't know what they're doing. Here's what I'll tell you. Insurance companies should freaking read the person their Miranda rights before they file a claim. Guys, I'm telling you, have you ever filed a claim? Drop a comment and let me know. Go to your personal online homeowners policy and go to file a claim online, and they will ask you 4 or 5 questions, and every one of them, if you don't answer it the exact right way, how long has this been going on? Is it a maintenance issue? Did you just, like, they ask all of these questions, and they're all designed to trip this person up and to get that thing in shallow water, dude. I'm telling you, Insurance companies are dogs, bro. Failure to maintain. Hopefully we're clear on that, okay? Again, it could be like, we want you to maintain your silicone or your caulk joints. It could be the silicone inside of a shower pan. Those are both good examples of that. Any one of those. What can you do to get around that? Well, number one, if it's a shower pan, we'll mitigate. That sucker's gone and it's out, okay? You don't need the adjuster to tell you to mitigate, okay? Guys, here's the problem. It's not what caused the problem. We don't know. I've got water where it's not supposed to be. That's the problem. I'm in the bathroom and water is not where it's supposed to be. That is the problem. They have insurance coverage for that. Do you understand? They have coverage for that. What caused it? Hell, I don't know. We don't know until you open it up, okay? And by definition, if they have to open it up to deny it, then they technically are on the hook to put it back together. Said a different way, if you're not sure whose fault it is and it requires surgery to open it up, like, yep, we're not paying for that, then if they owe to put it back. Now, will they pay? If you do it right, they will. If you do it wrong, they won't, okay? Again, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, get in my ecosystem. Go to workwithshane.com. We can talk. And if you want to learn how to do it very soon, go to the Water Damage Bootcamp. Go to waterdamagebootcamp.com. This is real world stuff, guys. Real world stuff. There are hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on the line, and you need to make sure that you know what you're doing, okay? Don't screw this up. We're saving the best for last, okay? This one's pretty easy. You guys should know this, but you may not. It's flood damage. What is flood damage? Flood is any time water enters a structure or enters a property from the ground. That's called flood water. By definition, it's considered category 3. Here's what I want to tell you about the flood water stuff, guys. Whenever it floods, if water gets inside of a house or inside of a basement, you've got to find a way that it's coming in through a window or a wall. You can't point to just coming in through the door, okay, because that is from the ground and that will be considered flood water. All right, now there's cases that they might pay for it, but they don't have to, and if they do, you're getting lucky. Now there's other things. They may have a sump pump and they may have a sump pump failure or sump pump failure allocation. If they do, look at the policy. You guys, listen, if you're watching this video and you own a restoration company, you've got to learn what you're doing, bro. You've got to learn what you're doing. You need to understand what these policies mean. You need to understand, are there typically exclusions for stuff in my area on this? Do they pay for mold? Do they not pay for mold? What does Allstate like to do here? What does Farmers like to do here? What does State Farm do here? You have to know that, okay? Every market's going to be a little bit different. Every state's going to be a little different. In Tennessee, State Farm don't pay for no mold, baby. They don't pay for mold at all. You go up north, I've talked to other people like in Jersey or New York, and they have like a $10,000 cap. Man, that'd be great for me to have, but they didn't have it in Tennessee, which is kind of weird because it's a lot hotter and more moldy down in the southeast than it is in the northeast, but whatever, okay? I'm just telling you, there's no substitute for you knowing exactly what you're doing, okay? So to get back to the flood stuff, if they have a sump pump, you can look and see, do they have a sump pump clause, like a sump pump failure? And if they do, you need to be careful because a lot of those might have a $5,000 cap or $6,000 cap, and if you've got a flooded finished basement, you're gonna have a way bigger bill than that. So just be mindful of that, okay? If it's gonna be from a flood, water can come in the house, that's fine, but it needs to not be on the ground. Now, if it came in on the ground and in the window, you're okay. You're okay. Well, you may not be okay because you may not know what you're doing, but I would be okay in this situation because I would be able to illustrate and show them how that water came in from above, not from the ground. You got to be able to show that, okay? If you can't show that, I'm going to side with them because it came in through the ground and it explicitly says we don't pay for flood water, okay? Most rookies go in there and they run up a big bill doing that kind of stuff, and that's just the biggest problem. So to recap these, number 1, leak over time. That's a really big one. Number 2, wear and tear. Number 3, poor craftsmanship, bad installation, stuff like that. Number 4, failure to maintain. That's on you, the homeowner. And number 5, floodwaters, okay? So those are the biggest issues. Now, here's the problem or the mistake that we used to make in my restoration company. We would see all of this stuff and we would be like, okay, here's what's going on. And we used to work so hard to help them find out the root cause of loss. That was the fault. That was our demise. We worked hard for the insurance company to find a way to deny that claim. You, my friend, don't need to worry about the actual cause of loss. That is not your problem. It is not your baby. Your job is not to be a daggum detective, okay? It's not the adjuster's job to be a detective either, okay? You know what? I'm gonna get on my high horse right now. You know what they always hear is they'll say, we need the adjuster to go out there and to determine coverage. Have you ever heard that? We need the adjuster to get out there to determine whether or not there's going to be coverage for this. My friend, the adjuster does not issue or determine coverage. The policy issues coverage. Do you know who determines coverage? It is not the adjuster. The adjuster there is to stroke that check. The adjuster does not determine coverage. Okay? Do you know who does? You know who does? A jury. The adjuster may say there's not coverage or we're not paying for it. The policy will afford coverage. If I think there's coverage and they don't think there's coverage, where do we go? to court. And guess who decides is there coverage? A jury, okay? So let's be very clear about that. The jury is who will be determining coverage. So if you play these things the right way, my friend, you will get around all this stuff. The first few years of my business, I handled this all wrong, but we finally figured it out. I'm just telling you need to learn how to play this game. Come to the Water Damage Bootcamp, waterdamagebootcamp.com. All right, but here's what I would tell you. We used to say, is this going to be a covered job or is this going to be a covered loss? And they would say, what caused it? And we would go looking for it. We quit doing that. I don't know. I can give you a couple pictures. We'll let you know as soon as we do. And I would just go with, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. I don't know, I'm not sure yet. Okay? So we figured that out. We would say, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. But then I would still make another fatal mistake. I would say, can we begin mitigation? And you know what they would say? No, we want an adjuster to come look at it first. See, that was another fatal flaw, okay? One fatal problem was we were working hard to get the claim denied by trying to find out the root cause of loss. And then secondly, we were asking a stupid question. Can we begin mitigation? All right? So here's what I learned in the end. Guys, y'all pay attention because this is a really good one. If you ask them, is this covered? They'll say, we can't issue coverage over the phone. If you say, can we start mitigation? They'll say, we want the adjuster to come look at it first. Here's the kicker. You ready? Should we stop mitigation? Ask them that. Say, should we stop mitigation? And my friend, they will not tell you to stop mitigation. When they don't tell you to stop, then by definition, they're telling you to continue. I'm telling you guys, the policy already states, there's not a policy out there that doesn't say they should not mitigate immediately against secondary damage. Every policy says that. So quit asking them, should you start? The policy already said start. Okay? They've already told you to start. So when you describe it and you're filing a claim, then you can say, this is what we're doing. All right, just to be clear, we're doing all this cool. Should we? And then if there's any problem, then don't say, should we start? Don't say, should we wait? Should we stop mitigation? They will not tell you to stop. This is a gold nugget. I hope y'all like this. Okay? So listen, guys, that wraps up the top 5. Here's what you need to do. Don't worry about the cause of loss. I don't know is good. Don't give too much details because that can be bad. Be honest, okay? But don't ask questions that don't make any sense, okay? Your job is to get it from wet to dry, and you're not Inspector Gadget, neither are they, all right? Hopefully that's helpful. So anyway, that's that. We'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, I've got 3 things for you. Number 1, if you haven't yet, click on my face below and be sure to subscribe to the channel, okay? We put out new content each and every week. Also, if you want me to help you grow your company, go to workwithshane.com. Workwithshane.com, put in your information, we can get on a call and see how we can help you grow your company. Lastly, there'll be some other videos right here. If you want to watch more content about growing your restoration company, check out one of these videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.